Hello YouTube, Chrome Freak here. The Stevens Model 62. Stevens and Savage are pretty much the same guns. Guys, I love 22 rifles. I own several different makes and models of 22 rifles. And this one right here, I got from my son's friend. When they turned 18, he ran up to Walmart and he bought this little rifle right here. I don't know if it came with this scope or not sure. I do know he kept it for a couple of months hidden from his parents because he still lived at home, and when his parents found out he had a rifle, well, he had to get rid of it rather quickly. And they knew I was into collecting firearms, so they sent him around over to my house, and I think I gave him 50 bucks for a gun. I can't really even remember, to be honest with you. And like I said, I'm not sure where this scope came from. He had it on there. Whether it came off a pellet gun he had or actually came with the rifle or he bought it on his own, I really do not know. Now the Stevens Model 62 is a great little plinker. Like I said, I love my 22 rifles, I really do, but I'm also a purist. I love my iron sights. I'm not a big scope guy. I do have some hunting rifles that are scoped, and a few other guns that are scoped, let's say that, but not a lot. I'm not a big scope guy. I'm an iron guy, a purist, really. And when it comes to these little 22 plinkers, this is the only scoped one I own, and I own several rifles, 22 rifles, like I said. And the only reason this scope was on here is because it came with it when I bought it from him. However, I was thinking about it, and I said, you know what? Let's get a little bit better scope to put on it. Why not? Maybe I could shoot a little bit better. I'm on medication. I do love to plink. And, you know, the 100-yard targets are starting to fade on me, if you know what I'm saying. So I didn't buy anything expensive or anything real nice. I bought a center point, a scope. It's a 3-9 by 32, made for 22 rimfire rifles. Nothing special. I bought it a few months back at Walmart. I can't remember exactly what I paid for it, but I'm wanting to say it's between $40 and $50. You know, if you guys are into target shooting big time and you get into competitions, well, by all means, go out and get yourself a real nice scope, a Leopold or whatnot. But a little 22 plinker like this, I'm not going to spend that kind of money on it. This scope here will do just fine. In fact, to be honest with you, the little one that's on it here right now, at 50 yards or so, this thing's dead on, to be honest with you. And once again, I'm not a big scope guy, but I've had several requests to do a scope mounting video, so I'll go ahead and do that. We're going to remove this one here, and I'll probably just throw it in the parts drawer and never use it again. And we'll go ahead and we'll mount the center point onto it. And I'll do my best, because I'm not a big scope guy. You know, I'm not claiming to be an expert or anything, but I have mounted a few scopes for some friends on their hunting rifles and whatnot, and I think I can get by. Anyway, let's go ahead and take this off. Use a screwdriver. This rifle is already slotted right here. Look at that, it's loose. Look how loose it is. It came right off. Funny. Now I got to get it past the sight here, so I'm going to go ahead and loosen this on this side, which will allow me to twist it. But I need a proper screwdriver, and I can't see because I don't have my glasses on. And there it is. That's pretty tight. Anyway, I'm just trying to swing this out of the way is what I'm trying to do. And there we go. Remove that one right there. Now that this scope is out of the way, we'll go ahead and we'll mess with the center point. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to remove the mounting brackets for it and all the hardware. And we'll talk about where I'm going to put them on the gun, what the gun has now, and whatnot. And there's also a little pin that comes with the center point right here that we don't need, so I'm going to remove that. We don't need it. It's mainly for, from what the instructions say, air rifles. But we're going to go ahead and take that off. I'll try to make this a quick video. Guys, I just went a couple weeks ago. I went by K&W Gun Works, and I got to tell you, the guys over there took care of me. I got a little surprise. I bought a Smith & Wesson 460 revolver. Beautiful, beautiful hand cannon, and that's what it is too. Lord, is it a hand cannon. And I made the video, and that was going to be my next video I was putting up. However, I cannot find the SD card. So I don't know if it's at my house or where it is, but I will be looking for it. And if I can't find it, I'll just reshoot the video. And then sometime after Easter here, we'll get it put up. But you're going to love this revolver, guys. I really believe you will. And I'm not going to say too much about it because I want to save it for the video. And hopefully I did get everything in the video properly when I did it. Okay, here's the scope. What I've already did is it's got a red and green illumination on it, and it came with 2 batteries. Here's one right here, so it gives you an extra battery. I've already installed the 1 battery into the scope, so we're ready to go there. So what I'm going to do at this point is it comes with a couple little Allen keys and some extra screws for you and stuff like that, which is actually pretty nice. You know, if you lose a screw or whatnot, you have it there. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to remove that little bracket that we don't need. The instructions tell you to remove it. If your gun does not come, it'll have a little recess and you'll see it. If you don't have that, take this out of the mounting bracket. That's what it suggests, so that's what I'm going to do. I will follow instructions when it comes to something like this because, once again, I am not a mounting expert. Now this gun already comes grooved, ready to accept this mount. And we're just going to slide it right on and get it somewhat in the area of where we're going to get it. I'm not going to tighten it up too tight. In fact, I'm just going to hand tighten it for right now. And we'll put the front one on. And we'll hand tighten that one. And then I'm going to put the scope on, and I'll try to get, what I'll do is I'll try to get some eye relief. I'll try to get it, I'll put the right, and by the way, this vise, guys, I am going to do a separate review on this vise. This is one of the best little investments I've bought. I'm using this thing a ton, and it works with pistols, rifles, it'll work with your ARs, your AKs, anything with long magazines. And by the way, this rifle has been safety checked already. Magazine's out right here. Pull the trigger. I safety checked it before I even put it into the vise. But it also works on break apart shotguns. It's just an amazing little vise and pretty sturdy for the price. It's plastic, but you know what? It does the job and it doesn't move around and it's really nice. So I just thought I'd throw that out there to you guys. And I will do a separate review on that. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the brackets on, and I'm just going to put the one side on and tighten them down, not real tight, but snug. And it's just to check for eye relief. And then I'll look through the scope and we're going to make sure that our crosshairs are straight up and down and in line with the rifle. So I might have to cant it a little bit, like so. So in fact, let me tighten up the bottoms just a little bit more than they are because I don't want it slipping off. But I'm not going to tighten them down fully. Also, what you might want to do too is, make sure I got this on exactly the right way. What you might also want to do is use Gun-Tite, the Loctite. This is called Gun-Tite. This one right here, made by Loctite, and it's with the idea of you know, it's going to leave these things from vibration and all that. It's going to keep them tight. It won't loosen up on you, but when you need to take them off, you're not going to strip them out either. It's got just enough strength that it's going to hold everything nicely for you without, you know, stripping the screw, and nothing's going to come loose. And I highly recommend it. I use this a ton. And also another thing we're going to go over real quick, and this is also a center point. It's a very cheap little item to buy, and I do this for my friends quite often. They don't know how to sight in their rifles, especially with scopes. And once again, I'm not a scope expert, and I'm not even a big scope guy. But I have done this a ton for my friends. This is a little center point Boar Slider, and I have a little 22, I want to say gauge, but it's a little part you screw on the end. It comes in several different calibers, and you can buy from Center Point a ton of different calibers. And what it does is it screws on here. You'll stick it, I'm hoping you're seeing this, into the end of the bore. all the way up into your bore tight, and then you'll screw it tight, and as you screw it tight, this actually opens up. It will center itself in the bore, in the barrel, and then it's got the laser. And the reason I'm not going to do this on video today is because when I had this in my bag, somehow it must have turned itself on and the batteries are dead, and unfortunately I don't have any spares right now, but I will explain this to you. It is very simple and easy to do, guys. Anyway, let me get down here, and which is not easy for me to do at my knee. And I'm just going to kind of look through this rifle, and I want to make sure that everything is kind of centered up and canted properly. It's not, you know, canted to the right, left or to the right. Just a hair this way. And that looks pretty good about right there. I moved it just a tad. So at this point right here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and tighten everything down. I won't put the Loctite on just because of the video here, or the gun tight, but I promise you, before I take this gun shooting, I will probably put the scope back on one more time. And by the way, this takes, it's a metric size, and if you're going to use a standard, it would be a 7/64, and then the metric size is it's a number 3. Yeah, it's a simple number 3. So just for the sake of video and time here, I'm just going to snug these down pretty good, but I'm not going to lock them. But I've had a few requests just to, you know, guys that have absolutely never put a scope on anything. And it's as simple as that, guys. It really is. And it's, don't let people fool you either. Zeroing a rifle out, your scope out, go to the range and doing it, it doesn't take a whole lot. And you could say what you want about center point being cheap, and they are. But I like to say they're affordable more than cheap, because that little Boar Slider has worked for me, and I have sighted in, guys, $3,000 custom rifles with this thing. I'm not kidding you. And they've taken it to the range, and it's on. I mean, they've got to do very, very little adjustments with it. And what I'll do is I'll put it down the bore like I said. You screw it on, you screw it in there once you got it all the way up in your barrel, your bore. This will open up like a plunger and really grip the inside of the barrel so it's centered. It's dead center of the barrel. You turn the laser on, you find yourself a point in your house or outside or wherever you are. Be safe, of course, use common sense. Make sure your gun's empty and not loaded. And you simply dial in your windage right here and elevation right here, and just get it dead on. And at 100 yards, when you get to the range, the instructions according to center point here is to go ahead and dial this all the way up to number 9, and that's how they have you zeroing your rifle out. Well, you can use this at home, and this I think is roughly $25 to $30 also at Walmart, and I've seen them in gun shops too. Worth every dime, especially if you're going to be mounting a lot of scopes and doing a lot of that type of work. I bought this a long time ago, basically to help friends out, and it's worked like a charm, man. This thing probably deserves its own little video, to be honest with you. Anyway, it's as simple as that, guys. The scope is mounted. For sake of video time, I'm not going to do it, but I will take everything back off and put some gun tight on it and lock it down pretty good. But I don't wrench anything down. The higher the caliber, I'll give it a little bit more, but this stuff is really all you need. And you don't have to monkey or gorilla anything down. This will hold it, it won't go nowhere. And it's as simple as that, guys. I just wanted to get this video out there for the guys who wanted this, know who they are. They've never mounted a scope, and it's okay, guys, I just kind of watched the video real quick. I shot, and I didn't get a few things in. I was standing too high, so you weren't able to see it. First off, let's do this. The scope also came, I didn't include this in the video, with flip-up sights, which are pretty nice. So the back ones fit right on. As you can see, there's little grooves back here, you know, for your fine adjustment. And you just fit it right into the grooves. And I wouldn't put it all the way on, because if you go too far, then it don't want to flip up and close properly. And the same would go with the front. Be sure I'm going the right direction with it. So I just want to include this real quickly into the video. And I kind of look down here and make sure I'm straight, which I'm not. And there we are, now we're kind of straight. Okay, Make sure it closes. And it don't, because I'm hitting right there. A little too much on. And there it is. Okay, that came also included with this cheap scope, which is pretty nice. It keeps the lens protected. Also came with a nice little lens cleaner. And, like I said, the extra battery, which is over here somewhere. Extra battery, which is also nice to have. And also, all the instructions you need really come with the scope when you buy it. And this is just a cheap center point. It also gives you a little, it's a tactical mil-dot range estimator, and it gives you a quick formula on distance using the dots inside the scope in mils. You could pretty much within minutes use the formula they give you here, and you can figure out how far away your target is. And that's a pretty nifty little thing to have to keep in your gun bag when you go to the range. And over certain amounts of time, or even buy better scopes that got rangefinders in them, or even buy a separate rangefinder. Anyway, guys, I'm not going to keep rambling. This looks fantastic. We're going to do a video on this vise here very shortly. I got a range video coming, and also the 460, guys. Smith & Wesson 460. The guys at K&W kicked butt again. I'll explain all that in that video if I can find the SD card. If not, we'll get it up after Easter. I wish everybody out there a happy Easter. God bless you all, and thank you for watching. Please keep the comments coming, and let me know what you think, guys. See ya.